Reserve team, again, they've got a chance to really separate themselves from the pack now. They come in now, they're 3-1, chance to go to 4-1, really stay at the top there with Secret, keep pace with Savage and these other teams. But this NORDAVIND team, it's tough to beat a team that's desperate, and they are desperate for a win.
Yeah, I think on the Red Reserve side, with that Team Secret win, without having a loss yet, and possibility of going 5-0 just raises the bar for all the teams in the chase for that 1 and 2 spot. So this is really, it's coming down to a must-win for everyone. On the NORDAVIND side, again, they're walking that tightrope, 2-3. They would love to be 3-3 and take down one of those contenders for a top 2 spot, bring them back down to where they're at. This is a NORDAVIND team that, keep this in mind, for all the talk about their goal differential and how, they are -3, they did have a rival series record, 20 shots in an Austrian match last week in a single game against Copenhagen Flames, aided, of course, by a 4-minute overtime. But it was game 5. Keep it in mind as Tadpole will score here. It takes 1 shot on an empty net because of 2 misses. And this one just comes down here. Al Dente, Godsmill, Data, the whole squad just not connecting on that ball. Red Reserve kind of get a free goal after some blunders on defense from NORDAVIND. Not the way you want to start the series. Well, at least NORDAVIND does have another 4.5 minutes to try and right the ship. As we resume, it'll be Speed against Al Dente. Well won by Al Dente, but nobody able to chase that ball down. So Ronicky able to cycle back. Now Tadpole, he had jumped, he thought that ball was gonna bounce away instead of roll down the wall. So now Al Dente for Godsmilla. Data's also over there, and that will kill the attack. The spacing not good at all for NORDAVIND early on. Now Speed, this will bank down in front and goes right past Tadpole. Caught by Ronicky, he'll find Speed, and Al Dente is there for the stop. Al Dente, the defensive rock for this team. You wouldn't expect them to give up an early goal, but here's Godsmilla getting that goal right back. And he just finesses it over the defense. This ball just coming off the back wall. Uncontested here as nobody from Red Reserve are up for it. And Speed, I think he got demolished there in his own net. He was the man to go up for that one. He couldn't do it, and Godsmilla gets away with one there, tying up the game. Data, usually the goal scorer of this team, this time playing table setter officially for Godsmilla. But this one right down Broadway into an empty net. Again, it's Ronicky. And it is Ronicky, the man who's been scoring quite a bit for Red Reserve and Triple Trouble in previous series. He beats out the defender here. It's an open net. Al Dente can't get back, and NORDAVIND find themselves back in the hole just like that. 2-1 in favor of Red Reserve. It has not taken long for there to be a bunch of goals between two teams that don't score many. They're right around the 2.25 goals per game range. They could score a ton in this series with this defense. It'll be Data banking one out for Al Dente to follow. Data streaking downfield, but he's going to need to retreat back. Ronicky may have this, and he does. And again, this is the guy that Red Reserve has relied on for so long, and he's come in again. Look at the touch, the read. It's coming straight down. The defense from NORDAVIND could do nothing about it. They just watched this man fly over them, and Red Reserve find themselves in the lead, 3-1. Goals coming in fast and furious early on here. Now Speed, gonna find Tadpole. No, he's blocked away by Al Dente. And Al Dente has to send this away as well, but Ronicky's there to stop it. Right at midfield. No double touch on here, but Godsmilla does have to clear it away. Only as far as Speed, and Al Dente back for a save. NORDAVIND just unable to get out of their own zone and stay out of their zone. That's a good pass across, but Godsmilla not able to catch up with it. And here comes Speed back the other way for Red Reserve. Al Dente, that's not great. Speed's got it. That off the backboard, not anywhere near where he intended that pass to be. And good backboard defense bails out NORDAVIND. Very reactionary defense here from NORDAVIND. They're kind of just watching Red Reserve do what they want with the ball and trying to react when the play develops. Not the best defensive idea from them, as Red Reserve has just been all over them throughout this game. Gonna be Data trying to pinch that along. Instead, he'll just leave it for Al Dente. Oh, Al Dente. Under one, but over another, and also over the crossbar. And the follow-up unsuccessful. Here comes Red Reserve back the other way, floated on target, and Al Dente will have to clear it away. been stop after stop for NORDAVIND. They haven't been able to turn it into offense. They got that early equalizer, and ever since then it's been crickets on the offensive end. Aldente reads this one from the ceiling. But back again it goes from Ronicky. Who else other than the man who's been the MVP of this Red Reserve squad? Now Speed coming on. That's a double commit with Ronicky as well. Ronicky, hey, he's been a heavy part of the offense. Might need to tone it back just a little lest they get scored on. That's an opportunity from Godsmilla, but it is Ronicky that sends that off to the corner.
Oh, NORDAVIND, they do get a shot there, but it's 9 for Red Reserve so far in this game. They have been all over NORDAVIND. NORDAVIND, they got 5 saves to their name. They've done quite a bit in keeping the ball out of their net, but they've still let 3 go by. And Ronicky, like you said, have just looked so good.
Speed took his time. He had the defense waiting for the shot, and they waited too long.
And again, reactionary defense here. He kind of just brings it down. The teammates were coming, or for NORDAVIND, coming back in rotation. You see Aldente, he was power sliding to turn around there, but Speed, he just comes by, throws it into net, and just like that, Red Reserve get their 4th goal.
So the beat goes on here for Red Reserve, picking up right where they left off. They're going to add another. This time it's Speed.
Yeah, and I don't know where the defense here. Godsmella was the only one back for NORDAVIND. Both players went for boosts on the other side for NORDAVIND, so nobody else was back off the kickoff. The rotation too slow. And now 5-1 is your scoreline in favor. Red Reserve, my goodness. They have looked so good.
Plenty of assists to go around as well. Only 1 unassisted goal so far in this game, and that's going to be a theme for these two teams. They do utilize passing exceptionally well. Between them, only 8 unassisted goals combined between NORDAVIND and Red Reserve coming into this week. It'll be Ronicky against Godsmilla. That will kick across. And it'll be Speed over Data. Godsmilla to back him up, trying to at least get another on the board. But Ronicky has the save. He has the breakaway, and he has the goal as well, and a hat trick.
It's like this guy's playing a different game right now. 3 goals to his name, and he just goes down the field. He gets it off the side wall, shoots it on target. Nobody's home from NORDAVIND. The counterattack came out. My God, it is 6-1 now for Red Reserve.
11 shots for Red Reserve. You're going to win a ton of games outshooting your opponents the way that they are treating NORDAVIND right now. Ronicky going to add another, and this time Data barely there for his 3rd save. Speed out to Tadpole. This is a well-oiled machine, this Red Reserve squad. Again, a team that doesn't score a ton of goals like NORDAVIND, but they are scoring in bunches right now. That one's saved away by Data. And when Data is your leading defender, you know that you're going to have trouble with NORDAVIND. You need him to be scoring goals rather than preventing them. That has not been the case, at least in game number 1. A dominant effort from Red Reserve, looking to go 2-0 on the day.
And that is making a statement from Red Reserve. A 6-1 scoreline is no fluke there from Ronicky especially. He played exceptional. He's got 8 shots to his name. How does he do it? It seems like the offense or the defense from NORDAVIND just lets him do whatever he wants. We saw in his last goal there, he just kind of went down the field and put it on target, and there was no one home. So for NORDAVIND, it's the defense right now that's killing them the most.
Yeah, and for Ronicky there, 8 shots, and guess how many NORDAVIND had? 5 as a team. I mean, it's just, you know, when you can outscore an entire team, and of course, I don't think Data had a single shot. He was primarily at the back with those 4 saves. So again, that is not NORDAVIND's style of play. That is not what got them into the top 4 last season. It is not what has kept them afloat this season. They need to turn it around. They've only got 2 games to do so.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what I said here in my prediction, is that you got to have Data get going. And like you said, no shots coming out from him, no goals, of course. And for him, 4 saves is great. Yeah, okay, you played some great defense. Well, I really can't say that with a 6-1 scoreline. So you didn't play great defense, but you stopped 4 shots, I guess. It could have been 10-1.
Yeah.
And you don't want your leading goal scorer, the league leading goal scorer, to be cut down to only 0 shots or 2 0 shots.
Well, here we go on to Wasteland for game number 2 and a chance to turn things around. Forget that last game even happened, and we'll see if NORDAVIND can reverse their fortunes here. It's going to be Data to start things off. This is what they want. He does not have enough boost to follow this himself. Godsmilla, bank shot off the ceiling, and Tadpole scrambles back to prevent what may have been kind of a fluke goal from going in. Now Ronicky, gonna leave that for Speed. Godsmilla needs to get to this, and he does so just ahead of the final attacker from Red Reserve, but you started to see it. Red Reserve setting up camp on the blue side of the field. It's Speed up ahead, and nobody there. He'll have to follow it himself. They're not out of this play just yet, though. Ronicky denied by Data, and now Al Dente can start the counterattack.
And NORDAVIND have got to get the offense going, but it might just not happen. Ronicky, another one off the crossbar. Speed on crossbar again. Red Reserve trying to put this one away, and they can't.
That was 3 straight crossbars from Red Reserve. Remember that little 10-second sequence if NORDAVIND come out on top in game 2 here. That'll drop straight down, and the follow-up not quite there. Ronicky gets a little lucky, and now he can boom this downfield right at Data. That's gonna find Ronicky again, and it's Al Dente for the save. Across it goes again, Godsmilla. All the way downfield, Data further for Godsmilla again. Clever play planned by NORDAVIND. The execution not quite there. Al Dente's drop pass is not going to find Godsmilla. It didn't turn nearly in time. Now Data, again the leading goal scorer, playing table center, and he's not able to do so for Godsmilla.
And for NORDAVIND, there's been a couple times now where they've had a chance to score. They just can't complete the play. This one has to be a goal, and it is. Al Dente putting that one down off the pass from Data.
Al Dente getting his first goal of the series for Data, by the way, now his second assist. So in addition to his defense, he has assisted on both goals that NORDAVIND scored in this series. But more importantly for NORDAVIND, they have their first lead of the series. And it took about 7 minutes of gameplay to get there. Now can they hold on? It'll be Al Dente. Needs one more touch. He's got it, but it's right there at Tadpole. Now Speed. Tried to take his time with that. You could tell he was looking for controls. That shot just a little bit wide. The ball got away from Speed. Now it does go downfield off of Tadpole. See if Red Reserve have an answer quick enough. To be Data, intercepted by Ronicky. They got 2-on-1 back the other way. Godsmilla all alone in the net. And he kind of pre-jumped, but it worked out.
Pressure still on here for Red Reserve. Again, NORDAVIND struggling a little bit on defense. It's been a lot better in this game. Of course, keeping Red Reserve to 0 goals at this point. But for how long? You cannot have this much sustained pressure and not give up a goal, you got to think.
Ronicky over Data, double touch at a tough angle, and he takes advantage of a miscue from Data.
What an angle here from Ronicky, and again, a free ball coming off the back wall. Data, he actually just misses it, and Ronicky, he's been showing that he can score from any angle at any point in the field, and he does it there to tie up the game.
4 goals in the series now for Ronicky. That one a big one that ties up game number 2, and almost a tie-breaking goal from Godsmilla. Now Ronicky, that'll find Speed. He's past Data. This is a good, promising play from Red Reserve. That's going to go across, though, and it kind of fizzles there at the play at midfield. Another one sent in, and Data's got that clear. But now NORDAVIND need to break out, and they can't. And Al Dente forced to scramble back and avoid a demo attempt from Tadpole.
8 saves on the side of NORDAVIND right now. Lots of shots coming out from Red Reserve, but I guess it's credit to NORDAVIND's defense at this point, keeping him to only 1 goal.
That's a cross in front, and Godsmilla scrambling across. All 3 members of NORDAVIND have a savior medal now. It's been a well-balanced defensive effort, but they need to get back on the offensive side, and that touch from Al Dente is not going to do it. That's skied straight up. Speed had a lot to work with there, but was not able to find a teammate. And back and forth they go. Now, of course, the next mistake going to be amplified by a lot as we're in the final minute of a tied game 2. Ronicky, he's up ahead. He'll have to scramble back eventually. Tadpole's in the net, and he'll have this ball away towards Speed. Got to keep an eye on Ronicky. He'll start the counterattack, and it just goes downfield past its intended target. And now Al Dente has this in the corner. Ronicky, he's lurking around like a shark who smells blood. That's going to find speed, and the save by Al Dente. He's out of the play, though. Tadpole, he's waiting, and a floater sent away by Godsmilla. Another attempt, and this will be sent away as well.
It's relentless from Red Reserve, but they just can't break the back line of NORDAVIND. They are just surviving at this point. 4 saves for each team, or for each player on NORDAVIND at this point, and my God, they have got to get this ball into the back of the net.
Oh, that's cleared away. Clever touch from Tadpole with Data looking for a double touch to avoid overtime, but that's where we're going. OT. And Godsmilla. Not the greatest touch, but it will find Al Dente. Now Data. And that'll be blocked straight down to Speed. Doesn't figure to be a quick overtime by any means. Keep in mind, by the way, with all the saves, now 12 for NORDAVIND. 13 is the rival series record, equaled by Copenhagen Flames against NORDAVIND just last week during a midweek match. This will be Ronicky. Across it goes. Speed for Ronicky, and that's going to hit the backboard. Cleared away by Data, follow-up from Tadpole, and that'll tie the record by Godsmilla, making his 5th save.
Again, lots of pressure coming out from Red Reserve, but for NORDAVIND, they haven't been on the offensive side for too long. Red Reserve, lots of pressure, especially off of the back wall.
Now Data trying to chase down Speed, get this ball off of him. Red Reserve going to set up for another attack. Ronicky's shot, saved by Al Dente. There's your record now, 14 saves in a single game here by NORDAVIND. Of course, it would be NORDAVIND. This team that's known for playing a very defensive, low-scoring style, setting an all-time rival series record. Al Dente blocked by Tadpole here. Godsmilla thought about turning around, but he does have to eventually cycle back to the wall, and his shot's off target. The follow-up from Data. And how often can you say this? A team that sets a record for saves goes on to win that game.
And it's Data who finally gets a goal here. And again, 14 saves coming out from NORDAVIND to keep themselves in this game. And we've talked about it in the RLCS. We talked about it in general. Getting a lot of saves really isn't a good sign for your team, but NORDAVIND definitely breaking that and able to find this game out. So congratulations to them, I guess, on the record for 14 saves, but they do come out on the win here and they tie up the series.
Yeah, congratulations. You had no offensive pressure pretty much all game, but you won.
Hey, they're in the record books.
Yeah, right. And yeah, it's a W in the record books, at least for that game. They get that 14 save performance, which is, again, just outstanding. But more importantly, they didn't break under all of that pressure from Red Reserve. I mean, it was at times shot after shot after shot. And you know, they were up to the task. And I think the communication, you could just tell when a team is communicating very well. And that looked like a team that was not double committing a whole lot.
No, yeah, Red Reserve had great communication on offense especially, and for 15 shots to come out and only score 1, that is not good either. We talked about the defensive side of things for NORDAVIND, but for Red Reserve, when you have 15 shots and you score 1 goal, the team shooting percentage is going down quite a bit at this point.
And in case you're just wondering, again, the 15 shots, you might think that would set a record. No, not anywhere close. 20 actually is the record set by NORDAVIND. So now NORDAVIND has the record for most shots in a game and most saves in a game.
What is this team?
That is incredible. We're going on into game number 3. I don't know how you follow that up. I would think that they would like to maybe have a game where they make 4 saves as a team. Maybe they come out, they score 5 goals and leave Red Reserve in the dust. Unlikely. But we are underway in game number 3. And Ronicky. Big ball downfield towards Speed. Speed thought about challenging Al Dente, instead gives way to Ronicky. And again, just good discipline on the offensive end by this Red Reserve team. Just the shots need to find the back of the net.
Red Reserve, coming into this week, was one of 2 teams in the European Rival Series that was shooting at or above 30%. Now, of course, that's definitely changed after our last game, but so they were doing well on shooting before, at least compared to their peers here in this league. Things have changed.
Godsmilla over towards Data. Al Dente is waiting. Might need a second touch. He's got it. Godsmilla, though, way too far back. And maybe that may be NORDAVIND's problem, is that, you know,
they play so defensive that anytime they do get a ball in front, they win a challenge in the corner. It takes way too long for a teammate to get up. Here's Al Dente. Didn't quite get that away as nicely as he'd like to. It hit the ceiling. Tadpole will take advantage off the feed from Ronicky.
Great patience here from Tadpole to see this play develop. It comes out from Al Dente. Ronicky puts it off the backboard, and Data just misses the touch there. Top shelf there for Tadpole, able to give his team the lead.
So Red Reserve, that's one. You know you're going to need a little bit more to stop NORDAVIND. See if they get that all-important second goal. Got Smilla only as far as Ronicky. No, it's actually Al Dente who got at least a little touch that keeps this attack alive for NORDAVIND. Ronicky's clear, only goes as far as God Smilla, but it's not a great touch from God Smilla, and that shot going way high from Red Reserve. Now Data, backboard for God Smilla. Not happening. Back the other way, and NORDAVIND were caught up just a little too far. So, hey, sometimes they're too far back. This time, too far forward.
Yeah, they crept up a little bit. Al Dente, he got caught in no man's land. He knew he couldn't get to that ball, so he kind of turns around to try and get back. Speed saw the open shot, takes it. Red Reserve up 2-0.
So that doubles the lead now for Red Reserve. And it's got Smilla trying to start things off for
nice angle
for NORDAVIND, and well, he gets a little gift here from the defense of, I believe, Ronicky.
This is an awkward ball here. Ironically, actually just knocks it straight down to God Smilla. Great angle from him, almost off the post there. But NORDAVIND able to fight back here, respond after going down 2 goals, and it's God Smilla, the man to do it.
Team that started out 2-0 here in NORDAVIND. They've dropped their last 3, including, of course, an abysmal 3-0 sweep at the hands of Method. One of the top contenders, of course, in the rival series. Data circling around. NORDAVIND just trying to salvage their season. I mean, right now, they'll be happy with anything. Top 4 still certainly on the table. They get a battle here against Red Reserve. Ronicky fighting his way through, only to be stopped by Al Dente. Back this goes. Ronicky waiting on the side. At least gets a piece of this ball so Tadpole can keep the attack alive. And Red Reserve just going to reset. They're not going to have much boost in their own zone. Data able to steal some on the back end. Now got Smilla to center. Needs somebody in front, but that pass not going to get there, and it will not find Data. Crossover towards God Smilla. Data streaking down the middle of the field. So too is Al Dente. Double commit now from NORDAVIND. You can see it from a mile away. It should be a goal from Red Reserve, but that shot from Ronicky way too high.
It was too high from Ronicky, but it wasn't the best pass from Speed. But Speed's just going to make up for it, actually, and beat 2 defenders of NORDAVIND, able to put this one away. You just see him kind of just turn around. He had a little bit of space. He pops it up over Al Dente and God Smilla. And Data couldn't get back in time. Red Reserve now off the back of Speed. 2 goals to his name. It's 3-1.
Yeah, all of that set up by that double demo at midfield, and NORDAVIND just not sure who was supposed to go up and challenge that. God Smilla caught way too far ahead. That's happened to him twice now. Does have this clear away from Speed. Now Ronicky coming on. That's going to be wide. And God Smilla, quick turn, not able to get onto the ball. And here come Red Reserve again, shot after shot. Another follow-up perhaps from Tadpole. He was mid-flip, not able to turn on that ball that was really just sitting there waiting for him to knock it home. It's a gift for NORDAVIND, but they can't take advantage. Al Dente taken out of the play by Speed.
You can see a lot of the passing plays coming through for Red Reserve. This is a bullet right at Speed. Is forced to make a tough save, but NORDAVIND, they've got to shut those down. That is the bread and butter of this team for Red Reserve, and they've shown it over and over in this series.
Speed now. He's beaten Al Dente. No, he hasn't. It looked like he had him beat, but Al Dente able to scale the wall and just catch the corner of the goal, stopping that ball from going through. Now Data, he'll have to give way to Al Dente. Across for Speed, and here comes Red Reserve again trying to kill off this final minute, take an all-important 2-1 series lead. Tadpole for Ronicky, and instead it'll be God Smilla. Not a great clear. Also not great from Al Dente, but it's forced Red Reserve back. They're doing just enough
enough to give themselves a chance in this game, but they need to find the back of the net. 30 seconds. Al Dente has done just that.
He just runs down the field here. He kind of picks up this ball. It's coming off of Data off the sidewall, takes a first touch, pops it up. Unexpected. He actually gets the dunk from Tadpole there. Great play from Al Dente, like you said, to keep his team in it. They needed that, and they get it here with 30 seconds left. Absolutely possible for this NORDAVIND team.
Al Dente will turn on this, but this will only go as far as Tadpole. Ronicky does get out of the play, though. Red Reserve, they're not going to push too far forward. Speed does have his third save. That kicks down to Data. Al Dente is waiting. Can he get them another? Not just yet. Only 5 seconds remain, and a big clear from Ronicky all the way to the other side, and now NORDAVIND has to go the length of the field. Without this ball touching the ground, they will not, and Red Reserve are on the hill, 1 win away from going 2-0 today.
And it seemed like NORDAVIND were very quiet throughout that game. It felt like Red Reserve was in full control. You take a look at the shots on Red Reserve, and it's 9 for them compared to the 7 for NORDAVIND. So NORDAVIND did have some things going. 6 saves on their side for NORDAVIND as well. So again, another defensive game for them. But again, I felt like NORDAVIND was pretty quiet. They didn't get a lot of things going. They didn't really have a lot of offense. And I felt like for Red Reserve, man, those infield passes, especially inside of the box, were so dangerous.
Yeah, and for Data now, you think about him in this series and what we've talked about with NORDAVIND. Both games that they've lost, he has had 0 shots. Which is, now I may have missaw that in game number 1, but definitely in that game, no shots at all. That is something that, again, you cannot have that from Data. Somebody that you need to be your goal scorer who has gotten you to this point by scoring tons and tons of goals. They need to get him going. I know we keep harping on it,
but it's true.
It is the truth. It is the key for NORDAVIND winning. When he's on, they can beat anybody in this league.
Yeah, and so far for NORDAVIND, they haven't really beaten much or any good teams yet. They beat Copenhagen Flames, they beat Excel, but they've shown that they haven't been the strongest teams. They lose 3-0 to Method. This is the time to prove themselves. And again, they've been kind of on that tightrope of, are we a good team? Are we not so good? This is the time to prove it against Red Reserve.
Yeah, they've beaten Excel, they've beaten Copenhagen, as you said, and then, of course, they lose to Secret, Savage, and Method. Method, of course, earlier this week, and that may have been the nail in the coffin for them and their top 2 hopes. They've still got a lot to play for here. Tadpole going to start things off for Red Reserve. NORDAVIND looked for that one win that would kind of be the feather in their cap that would give them a chance at a top 4 placement. Tadpole, clever pass for Ronicky, but it's Al Dente standing tall on the goal line, and Al Dente's got to go up again, and he does to stop Speed.
And you said it, clever passes coming out from Red Reserve. We talked about it just a second ago. They've got things going for them in that last game, and they start off on the right foot here, finding each other in the offensive third.
Good touch from Data to find Godsmiller. By the way, that's another save for Data. We'll see if he can get a shot on here. That may go close enough to the net to count as a shot. It does not, and Speed will have it away towards Tadpole. Tadpole gonna set one for Speed. It goes back the other way. Here's Ronicky, the last guy NORDAVIND wants to see on the ball. So Data's there to steal that ball away, but he won't get the boost. Ronicky very intelligently making sure he gets that corner boost before Data could steal it. Now Godsmiller, that's going to be a challenge 1, and Al Dente will get the goal for NORDAVIND, and they're in front.
Yeah, this one comes off the back here of Godsmiller. He just gets up and wins that challenge in front of the net. Al Dente able just to follow it up. It's an open shot for him as the defense couldn't rotate through for Red Reserve. And NORDAVIND, they strike first here.
3rd goal in the series for Al Dente, which really, it's an offensive outburst for Al Dente, the way that he has played in the past season and a half. Ronicky, that kicks out in front, but Godsmilla's there. Al Dente to play it even further, and Tadpole just enough to disrupt the attack. Loose ball in front that Ronicky scrambles in front, and he stops Al Dente from putting home.
These quick counterattacks coming up from NORDAVIND are giving Red Reserve a hard time right now. They've already scored off of 1 and almost there another one as it came down to the last defender, but NORDAVIND doing a good job of taking it to Red Reserve at this point. They've been playing passive quite a bit, as we said, a very defensive team. Able to get the first goal and have a lot of pressure in the offensive third.
Al Dente, good catch, but Lost control after the fact. Here's Ronicky against Godsmilla, and Godsmilla using what little was left of his boost tank to clear that ball out of harm's way. Actually not a double touch. Ball served up for Tadpole that he pushed just wide, and now it'll be Data. He's gonna try to find Godsmilla streaking downfield. Kicked out for Data again, and Speed should have this. It is a double commit that Red Reserve just barely gets away with. Now Speed and Tadpole, they crisscross, and NORDAVIND doesn't have a clue what to do with this attack. It's a broken play, and eventually Tadpole ties the game.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a fiesta in front of the net here. Godsmilla coming off the back wall, not reading it well, and there's a couple players who just fly by the ball. Tadpole just says, hey, I'm going to take it if no one else is going to hit it. And we're all tied up here. Tadpole getting an awkward goal there for Red Reserve.
Now let's see how NORDAVIND answers. Again, their backs are against the wall here. They lose this series, and they could just about kiss top 4 hopes goodbye. They are trailing in this series. It's Data. Downfield off the pass from Aldente. Aldente's got Godsmilla towards the middle of the field. And for Godsmilla, it's gotta feel like you're darned if you do, darned if you don't, right? Because you come forward, you get scored on as the ball goes over your head. This is gonna go back
Data.
and forth across the goal line. Somebody has to clear it. Eventually, Aldente just rumbles across to clear it off. But Godsmilla, when he's up too far, they get scored on, and then when they've got opportunities, he's too far back. He can't win.
Yeah, and for NORDAVIND, again, it comes down to Data. Can he be that goal scorer for him? So far in the series, it's a no. Godsmilla and Aldente definitely doing a good job of picking up the slack. Actually, Data doing great on defense. But again, we've talked about it before. That's not what you want from this NORDAVIND squad.
Godsmilla and Tadpole take each other out. It was a double demo that led to a key goal last game as well. It has not done so yet. Tadpole, little floater that Data's got to send away yet again. And Aldente has to wait for this feed from Speed. Now Godsmilla. He's beaten by Ronicky, but nothing doing. Good pass from Godsmilla. Sets up Data for a rare shot in this series, and it is blocked away. Now Tadpole. He's going to serve one up, but Aldente's right there along the backboard. Now Ronicky. That should just about kill off the Red Reserve attack, and it has. Until Speed kind of rekindles the flame there. It's back into the zone. Another chance for Red Reserve to break this tie. Maybe avoid overtime. But it's Aldente and this NORDAVIND defense. They're up to the task yet again. Eerily similar, Corelli, to that previous game where we saw a lot happen. Here's Aldente. It'll be in front for Godsmilla. Final seconds ticking away. Data towards Godsmilla, and Speed with the save. It looks like we are headed for overtime once again, and we are.
And with 11 shots from Red Reserve again, the shooting has not been great for them. Yeah, it's great to have a lot of chances, but it doesn't matter if you don't score at least a certain percentage of them. And right now, 1 for 9 as they lead this game into overtime.
Only 4 saves for NORDAVIND. Would not expect them to threaten their newly gained record. Here's Data right down the middle, but he'll have to follow this himself. Godsmilla to the corner, no second touch. It's Aldente there, and this will pinball around and in. They were waiting for a second touch from Godsmilla. It never came.
The whiff there from Godsmilla, it sets up Aldente perfectly. The save comes off the crossbar, and the momentum from Aldente carries him through the ball, and it goes in for NORDAVIND. We're going to a Game 5.
Unreal. A pair of overtime victories for NORDAVIND, really to keep their season alive. And this time, plenty of shots from Data. It's actually Godsmilla who didn't have a single shot on goal, but his presence certainly felt with a pair of assists. And now, hey, a lot of momentum coming out of that win, because they've shown that the longer these games go, if you let NORDAVIND hang around,
they can bite you.
Yeah, and I'm a little scared here for Red Reserve. They've already gone to a Game 5 earlier, so for Red Reserve, they got to bounce back and take down this NORDAVIND team who they've blown them out in a game here before. So and I think that they have looked like the better team, but NORDAVIND just they're scrappy, man. They're staying in this game. The ball was kind of racing back and forth on their goal line a couple times, and Red Reserve just couldn't put it in. But for NORDAVIND, this is great now. They get into a Game 5, and they have a chance to get not only a win, but a win against a team that is vying for a top 2 spot. Like we said earlier, for NORDAVIND, they've only beaten Copenhagen Flames and Excel. They haven't beaten really a team that's up there in that top 4 position. So this Red Reverse squad would be a great win on their record.
Yeah, really the theme in Europe and North America all day today is these teams that are in the bottom half of the standings playing spoiler, trying to scratch and claw their way into those top 4 spots, or at the very least, drag those upper teams back down a little bit towards their level, see if they can play a little bit of catch-up. It's going to be Ronicky to start things off for Red Reserve. So often in these series, especially in the rival series, you'll see a series where, you know, the teams are evenly matched. It's going to go 5 games like this one is, but there's always that one game that's been a blowout. That was game 1, where Red Reserve won 6-1, as you alluded to earlier, Corelli. Every game since then, all decided by 1 goal, including the pair of overtime wins for NORDAVIND. There's Al Dente waiting to start things off, having to avoid speed. Ronicky over towards Tadpole. In front again, and that's cleared away by Data, making sure that Ronicky couldn't make them pay. And really, Corelli, how about the defensive effort of NORDAVIND? We talk about it, of course. Yeah, NORDAVIND defense, but they have really stopped Ronicky from doing everything that he wants to do, as now finally Red Reserve will score, but it's Speed and Tadpole in the play, not Ronicky.
Yeah, you could stop Ronicky, but Speed and Tadpole able to combine here in front of the net. He gets the bump as well on Al Dente. Speed putting that one away. And Red Reserve, they strike first, and for NORDAVIND, you don't want to let Red Reserve start to run away with this game.
It'll be Speed with a full tank of boost, not able to do a whole lot with it. Now Data needs to win this ball, and he has, but Ronicky coming up. Yet a wonder, when will he start to take over yet again? Tadpole has enough to follow this. Ronicky's there, but he's gonna have to back off and just steal some boost and play for the long game here, as Red Reserve try to get a quick second goal. Maybe try to bury NORDAVIND under a ton of pressure. This will kick out from the corner. Ronicky denied by Data. Al Dente thought about coming out. He'll have to come from the back wall, and Data's there to jump in front of him. Another chance. That's going to be sent away by Godsmilla. It was Ronicky trying to find Tadpole, but finally NORDAVIND clear away. Godsmilla beaten out by Ronicky just by a hair.
After sustaining so much pressure there from Red Reserve, NORDAVIND are able to break free and have a chance on net there, but again, you got to take advantage of your opportunities here. Another one coming for Data and Godsmilla.
Well, this will drop down. Godsmilla didn't get the touch they were expecting, and Data almost took advantage and tied this game. But Game 5 plays on with Red Reserve clinging to a 1-goal lead. A 10-game day for Red Reserve here in Week 3 of the Rival Series.
Data.
Welcome into Rocket League. It'll be Godsmilla for Al Dente to the upper 90, and we're tied at the halftime.
Well, and it's the same thing on NORDAVIND's side too. Their leading goal scorer has been quiet throughout this series, but Al Dente and Godsmilla, they combine to put the ball to the back of the net, and they respond back just at halftime to tie up this game.
Al Dente from Godsmilla has given us a brand new game in game number 5. Now Godsmilla looking to set up another. The Data coming in over top of Tadpole. Seeing a slightly more aggressive NORDAVIND team. Maybe they finally found that happy medium. Speed and Tadpole, it'll be taken by Speed. Brilliant pass across, and the drive from Data just high.
And I want to see more of that from NORDAVIND. That's really the first good chance to pass across the box there for NORDAVIND. We've seen all season, or all series, excuse me, not all season. But that was the first time we really got to see it here. And it looks good, a little bit lower there from Data, and they would be in the lead here.
It's Al Dente right at speed. Follow up for Godsmilla. Data not in the play just yet. Now he is at midfield, but Ronicky has this ball. Only as far as Al Dente. That's right to Data. No shot just yet. Now Godsmilla blocked by speed. It has been a very patient attack for NORDAVIND. You could certainly say that. They have passed up opportunities to try and get better shots. Now Godsmilla. Oh, that's going to be a light shot. Oh, what a second touch! He just undressed Ronicky in front of the net.
And this ball is not a good touch from speed, and Godsmilla, he flips into this ball, and just as it lands to the ground, he lands with it to cut the last defender. Godsmilla, brilliance from him, and NORDAVIND take the lead.
NORDAVIND with a 2-1 lead in regulation after winning a pair of overtime games by the same scoreline. Now Tadpole looking to snipe the upper part of the goal, but he's just over the bar. And now there's a minute remaining for Red Reserve to claw their way back into this series. Tadpole serving one up for himself, and it's Al Dente there for the block. Ronicky patiently waiting at the center line. Now he's coming up. Follow up for Tadpole. Tie game again.
NORDAVIND, they send two here on this ball in front of the net. It's a great touch for speed just to try and set up Ronicky. They didn't expect much from him, but when the double commit comes out from NORDAVIND, that opens up a shot for Tadpole. He takes it. And 42 seconds left in this game, we're tied up.
Boy, this series has absolutely delivered. Tied at 2-2 in games, tied in game 5 in goals as well. Now Data looking to break that tie, try to avoid overtime. Godsmilla comes up empty. And now Tadpole, a little slow start to the breakaway effort. It's Ronicky with less than 30 to work with. Who makes the next mistake? Who makes the next outstanding play? That'll determine who takes game number 5 loose in front. And Al Dente clears it right through the middle. Red Reserve gonna want that one back collectively. 3 seconds remain.
That's a great pass.
For Ronicky, denied by Al Dente. Who else? And we will have golden goal for the 3rd time in this series.
And think about what's on the line for both of these teams. Red Reserve would love to go and have a chance here at top 2, and for NORDAVIND, they stay alive for top 4. This is everything for both of these teams.
So much will be decided in a single overtime. Tadpole thought about it. Instead, he'll give way to speed. Tadpole still lurking around. Oh, important touch from Godsmilla. Didn't get all of it, but he got enough. And now this ball all the way downfield. Speed, not the best touch. This goes off to the corner. It's loose. Al Dente, good challenge, has Godsmilla in front. The speed knocked away from the play, and Tadpole, all he can do is kind of feebly clear it away. And Red Reserve finding themselves on the back heel here. Now Al Dente, another shot. That's going to be blocked away by Ronicky, and maybe finally Red Reserve can break this pressure, and they do.
And man, the offense really coming alive for NORDAVIND, but now they got to survive the offense of Red Reserve as Data turns that one away.
Now Data for Al Dente. What a time for Data to get into this series. Instead, Godsmilla has to play the last man back. Data with a full tank of boost. He gives way to Godsmilla. That ball given away to speed, and Al Dente just in front, just in time. Al Dente again. Data's down in that direction, but Ronicky gets to the ball first. Al Dente,
oh no. Ronicky
left in a tough spot.
He's got it.
It's Ronicky, the MVP of Red Reserve, strikes again and saves them yet again.
A little bit of a quiet game here from Ronicky in game 5, but he comes up when they need him most. The solo play from him, he puts it away, and Red Reserve